Hello, everybody. I'm Jason, and today we're going to be watching Silicon Valley Season 1, Episode 2. Let's get into it.
I understand. Thank you.
Oh,
Richard, I just want to say I really respect what you're doing here. And if you could ever use someone with my business development skill set, I would love to be a part of this.
Fuck you will be. We'll call you when we want pleated khakis.
So, guys, if you recall last time, Richard had gotten an offer from both Gavin Belson and also from Peter Gregory, and he turned down Gavin Belson for a complete buyout and went ahead with a deal where he remains CEO of his own company. And so we're going to find out what this is all about.
Come back in 48 hours with an airtight business plan, a clear go-to-market strategy, and a 3-year summary P&L, or there will be no check. That's it.
So similar to the last episode, you guys can clearly see here that Richard is definitely more of I suppose, a builder. It's his first time clearly dealing with something like this. As Peter was mentioning, it ain't college. Richard kind of needs to step up his game and have a think about why he turned down, what was it, like $10 million to run his own company. He needs to sort of broaden himself, not just focus on building algorithms. So we'll see what he does next.
I assume.
I own 10% of an app that locates all nearby water fountains. I'd be happy to discuss it with you once.
Good day, gentlemen.
You smoke weed? You really embarrass me, man.
Yeah, Ehrlich seems the type to just have all these ideas, given his habits. Yeah, he seems to have plenty of ideas and be the kind of guy to just pitch you just in the elevator or something. So he's an interesting man.
Richard, if you're not an asshole, it creates this kind of asshole vacuum, and that void is filled by other assholes like Jared. I mean, you almost gave him shares.
Yeah, so I'm just translating what Erlich's saying here. So yeah, Richard's clearly, as I said, more of a on the tools kind of guy, focused on building, on the knowledge. But, when you're running a company, you know, dealing with all these different investors and stakeholders, you kind of need to display a bit more of those soft skills, the leadership, which is what I think Ehrlich's trying to express. So, yeah. We'll see if Richard's able to make that change. It seems like it'll be quite hard for him, but we'll see. Yeah, that's, I think, quite a common thing with software engineers. Um, just have a hard time expressing themselves.
are you gonna help me with this business plan or not?
I believe in you, Richard. That's why I'm not.
Business plans are...
I love how they're just on Wikipedia. Yeah, software engineers. I mean, I think we use the equivalent, Stack Overflow, something like that. But I've used plenty of Wikipedia as well. Yeah, if you're not sure, it's always a great tool, isn't it?
created in support of new ventures or to implement profound changes in existing venture.
You can see here in this shot here that they've got Richard on his MacBook. I do know like Macs are quite popular among devs just because of the Linux-based system. It's just quite popular, especially among, I suppose, front-end engineers, mobile engineers, because it's easy to develop for, say, an iOS mobile app. So that's cool. I don't know if you can also see here in the background, just above the Mac, there's a picture of a lady there. So that actually, for those of you who don't know, is quite a popular sample image used by a lot of computer image processing libraries and toolkits. Yeah, exactly. The history of that image is a little bit interesting. It's um, yeah, I think it's a developer decades ago. You know, they had a adult rated magazine, and I think that's the image they wanted to use at the time, and it kind of just stuck around. So um, when people generally use it and in published articles, they typically crop out the nudity, but um, so that's what they've actually shown there, the square photo of that. In my personal projects where I've been developing some image processing algorithm, yeah, I started using it as well because I saw everyone else use it without actually understanding the history. So it's quite, yeah, it's cool that the show's included that Easter egg for people who know. Yeah, all right, let's keep watching. You can see it there on the left. Yeah.
Jared Duns?
What? Why? Why is he here?
Well, because as you know, I need some advice on the business plan.
You're cutting him in?
Good morning. Whoops, that was weird. I don't know why I did that. You kind of have a kingish feeling to you. You're like a Norse hero from Val.
It's interesting they're bringing Jared in. That was a bit of a plot twist, wasn't it, at the start? I think, yeah, this is maybe referencing what Ehrlich was saying last episode, where you need sort of both halves of the business. You need the visionary, and then you also need the person able to execute. So the Wozniak to the Jobs. So it seems like here that Jared might be helping Richard fulfill that gap. So we'll keep watching.
So, I ironed out our customer acquisition strategy and I wrapped our financials. I did a DCF valuation. Most VCs can't even do that math, but something tells me Peter is different. I think we can jump into the one-on-ones with each team member to see if I can defend our cap table.
Clearly, Jared's been getting to work. Some of those things I don't even know what they are, but it does sound like he's doing his due diligence, and it sounds like also that's the stuff that Richard needs help with. So yeah, it's good. Sounds like Richard's made the right choice here.
Dan Puck, I know you were in Aspen. Thank you for coming. Please, have a seat. I'm not.
I love this spiritual guru. It's exactly what this Gavin Belson cult leader needs. Some kind of guidance. Yeah, spiritual guidance.
Audius, play John Lennon's Imagine.
Queuing John Wayne in a mansion. Not found. Invalid command.
Use the anger channel.
Yeah, it's cool the show's thrown that in. I think everyone who's tried to use, one of those voice assistants, Siri, Alexa, Google Home, at some time or another you'd run into some kind of speech detection issue. So it's always funny to hear.
I actually went to Vassar.
I prevent cross-site scripting. I monitor for DDoS attacks, emergency database rollbacks, and faulty transaction handlings. The internet, heard of it, transfers 0.5 petabyte of data every minute. Do you have any idea how that happens? All those YouPorn ones and zeros streaming directly to your shitty little smartphone day after day. Every dipshit who shits his pants if he can't get the new dubstep Skrillex remix in under 12 seconds. It's not magic, it's talent and sweat. People like me ensuring your packets get delivered unsniffed. So what do? I make sure that one bad config on one key component doesn't bankrupt the entire company. That's what the I do.
Yeah, so Guilford clearly is quite a character. So we're learning a bit more about what he actually does. So in the last episode, I think they introduced him as a bit of an anarchist, and I do think he fits the stereotype of I suppose not quite a paranoid, but someone who's a bit deep into the security space. You can clearly hear, he's preventing cross-site scripting attacks. That's a web-based security concern, making sure websites aren't being hijacked by malicious actors trying to interfere and say steal bank banking information, that kind of thing. You mentioned packets being unsniffed, so no one sort of monitoring your web traffic. So it's clearly a security kind of guy, and also a strong networking background, making sure that people can download, the dubstep remix and music, streaming sites, yeah, any files really, making sure that latency is good. On top of that, he mentioned database transactions, making sure, yeah, bad config doesn't tear down the entire company. So, basically making sure the company doesn't lose all its data. So very strong security background, networking background, database background. So these are areas that are quite technical, usually considered like, working in the basement. So not always appreciated because it's not, say, user interface, right? Like not something that you as a user would, there's a button that you can click on the screen. It's all stuff that happens behind the scenes, like the wiring behind, the back office. So no one would, it often gets missed, so, but he's saying it's quite important, clearly. If you don't get that done, that button that you click on isn't going to do anything. So, uh, yeah, and it definitely, I think, fits into that this kind of character where possibly working solo or working behind the scenes, not talking to end users and product owners. Generally, yeah, they can be a bit more, I'd say, uh, yeah, sort of maybe have a maybe opinionated on certain things, and yeah, he's anarchist background, I think, yeah, fits in with this. So, but yeah, he's definitely quite a character and very, very technical and knowledgeable. So it'll be interesting to see how he fits in with the rest of the team.
I just want to say that I feel I should get more equity than Dinesh.
I know Guilfoyle probably came in here and puked out a bunch of tech specs, 3/4 of which are total.
Okay.
Did you bring up the Iranian Revolution thing? Yeah, those words mean nothing. But here's the fact. I'm the only one of these clowns that can code in Java. And I write sleek, performant, low overhead Scala code with higher order functions that will run on anything.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, so clearly these two have a bit of a rivalry going on. Yeah, so what Dinesh is saying here, like, so while managing all this infrastructure is clearly important, because you're not going to have any applications run if otherwise, you still need someone to actually write the application code, say the backend or the APIs that services um, your front end application. So that sounds like where Dinesh shines, with his strong Java background, and also I think he threw in the higher order Scala functions, something like that. So to me, that just means he uh, is able to write efficient, well-performing code for the backend. So generally, to make sure that the data gets propagated to your front end applications quickly. So yeah, that's a critical role as well. You can't just have the infrastructure. You've got to move that data around through the infrastructure, and that requires well-performing applications. So clearly, yeah, Dinesh has a big role to play as well.
So basically, I think whatever equity I get, it should reflect that I contribute more than Guilfoyle.
Yeah. So yeah, they just have a rivalry going on. I'm not surprised.
This is weird. I know, right? It's what everybody's been doing.
Guilfoyle did this?
It's just a formality to get me caught up. So what makes you a value to the Pied Piper team?
Programming, I guess. Pretty good at code. Develop algorithms, so forth.
Different from the type of algorithm Richard created?
Well, yeah, like not as good. Richard's a 10xer, I'm like barely an xer.
Yeah, okay. So bigger, yeah. So he kind of seems to be the, I guess the possibly some of the extra non-critical personnel that maybe not Gavin Belson, Peter Gregory was referring to. So it'll be interesting to see how he'll be yeah, what his role would be in the company, because it sounds like he's not particularly strong in any area. We'll see, because he's like Richard's good friend, it looks like. So, well,
There will be after Richard gets rid of Big Head.
Wait, Richard's getting rid of Big Head? Why?
Listen, we all love Big Head, but the truth is he's not as good of a coder as I am, not as good at system architecture as Guilfoyle, not as good at being a prick as you. No offense.
He's a lightweight at everything. Brings nothing to the table.
Him getting points would be a big you to all of us. But he's a great guy.
Great guy.
yep. See, there you go. So it sounds like that Big Head's going to be let go. So, yeah, Jared, I would say definitely plays a bigger role in the company in helping with the business side of things, because that's what all these guys I think lack. That they're all quite technically proficient, but at the end of the day, somebody needs to run that side of the company too.
Peter Gregory demanded a lean, ruthless business plan, and I don't think that the CEO of Microsoft has a paid best friend.
Sergey Brin does. Larry doesn't do shit.
Yeah, so I don't know how much of this is true, but yeah, I think there is this popular popular belief that, yeah, Sergey Brin, yeah, I think he's generally seen as the more technical, I think, founder of Google. So although I think both of them had they both had PhDs in, I think, computer science. So but yeah, I think Sergey Brin, yeah, I think he helped lead Google's X division. So yeah, just generally doing the perception is he's done the more technical side. So similar to I think what Richard was saying about Jobs and Wozniak, saying that Wozniak was the real co-founder, because these tech guys, they'll definitely be looking up to the people obviously doing the tech. But as Oleg was mentioning, both sides are quite important in any business. So let's see where it goes.
If he's dead, are you trying to say that Big Head might be dead? Should we go look for him?
I mean, I agree with these guys. Jared's just not working out.
What?
Richard?
Oleg does not like Jared. I'm not really sure exactly why. I guess he's from maybe the Gavin Belson crew, but yeah, we'll see what exactly his beef is.
I feel bad about saying that thing about him being dead. That's not who I am. Wait, what is it?
Nip alert. It's actually gonna maybe lead us to Big Head. We'll see.
What about Nippler?
Mochaccino shows her tits for a living, and even she was uncomfortable using it. She said it was sexist. She's right. It's actually perverted. I mean,
Yep, he finally realized the flaws in his product. Yeah, we called it in the last episode. It's not a good product. I'm glad he realized it finally before taking it further.
No good. What happened? You fire Big Head?
No, not yet. I don't know. Sort of.
So, do I include him in the cap table or not? It's basically good to go.
No, he's out. Wait, I don't know. Actually, I just need to close my eyes for a little bit.
Yeah, see, Richard's having a hard time separating, I suppose, business with friendship. This is, I guess, what the episode's all about, him making these tough decisions and becoming a leader. Yeah, it can be hard to do that if you're being solely focused on tech. You know, these are skills that if you're focused on coding, you're not necessarily going to develop. So yeah, let's see what he chooses.
Deposit?
Let's hope for him after all, it sounds like.
Sorry.
dude, they're taking your code apart.
What?
Yeah, did you give those programmer guys access to a player download or something?
Ooh.
Oh, they probably hacked the prototype and decompiled the compression library.
Well, they've got it now, man. They're gonna reverse engineer a version as close as they can without getting sued.
Wait, are you sure about this?
Yeah, dude, Gavin wants to beat you to market. He wants to make sure no other investor in the valley offers you a...
Yeah, so I just want to touch on something quickly. So he mentioned they're pulling his code apart, and Richard mentioned they're probably taking apart the compression library. I find that quite interesting because generally with these kinds of tools, I've never seen because how I understand it, it was like a web application, right? So generally, you wouldn't be um uploading, say, a song and then have it like uh analyzed on the local computer. So, but possibly what they're saying here is that he did manage to put a compression library in the web code and then compress it, and then it gets sent to a server somewhere to then find the songs, the matching songs. But yeah, it's interesting because generally I would have thought that yeah, if you upload the file, that the upload goes to the server, so the compression library would even be on the server side. But yeah, it is plausible that maybe, yeah, the compression is done. The compression algorithm he's managed to build is actually on the front end side. But yeah, it's a bit interesting. And also in this clip here, it's yeah, I'm liking the amount of detail here. So they got some uh signal filters. You see some kind of sine wave, looks like low pass filter. So this is all has its roots in signal processing. Not quite necessarily software engineering. Starting to get, I think, more into the electrical side of things, but still relevant. It's used commonly in, say, things like image processing and other, um, I suppose, yeah, data centric algorithms. So, and on the left there, can't quite make out. It looks like they got some kind of system architecture diagram, block diagram. Yeah, looks like, yeah, they're trying to work out how the compression library works for the audio. They got the input audio sample. But yeah, you can't quite see. Well, yeah, it's nice that they've made an effort to put in some detail, but can't quite make out exactly what's going on. Hopefully, we get to see some of some of the inner workings in the future episode.
Done.
That is not good.
They're calling it nucleus.
At me. Sorry, dude, I can't be talking to you like this. Like, yeah. Nucleus.
Excuse me? This check is made out to Pied Piper Incorporated. Do you have an SS4?
A what?
Is Pied Piper Corporation registered with the IRS? I can't deposit that into a personal account.
I don't know. Is that something maybe you can help me with?
No, sir.
Buddy, come on.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank
Sorry.
you.
Okay.
Next.
Yeah, it looks like there's still going to be challenges ahead for Richard. Just having Jared around doesn't mean everything's going to be straightforward. There's still things like, yeah, say this bank account situation. I'm not familiar with the American requirements, but yeah, there's still some things that, yeah, Richard needs to be across. So we're gonna be on the journey with him. All right, thank you everyone for watching with me. That was quite an interesting episode. I'm really liking what I'm watching so far. So keen for the next one. Please subscribe and like the video. Have a good one. Bye.